Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to go over the Set 42 Headliners featured card, which is the Prime Noah Syndergaard starting pitcher for the New York Mets. Essentially, Noah Syndergaard hasn't had that long of a career, so I'm not really sure why they gave him a Prime card. Personally, I would have just gave him a card based off of his second season, which was essentially his best season, and labeled it an All-Star card, because that's really where Noah Syndergaard shined. He had kind of an off year last year. He's only been in the league for about 5 years. One of the years he was injured, so I'm not really sure why they gave him a Prime card. I just wanted to open that up in the beginning of the video with the Chewie review. That way I don't have to talk about it too much while I'm going over the review itself. Noah Syndergaard has amazing stuff as a pitcher. Don't know if he's should really have a Prime card. I don't think it's Prime's over either. He's still a young pitcher. He's only like 26 years old. Before we get into the Chewie review of this Noah Syndergaard, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm uploading more videos, as well as comment down below what you guys think about Noah Syndergaard and share this video. That way we can continue to grow the community. I appreciate all of your guys' support so far in growing the channel. Let's get into it. Noah Syndergaard. So Set 42 features the starting pitcher for the New York Mets, Prime Noah Syndergaard. He's 96 overall, right-handed throwing, left-handed batting, has a 5-pitch repertoire that features a 4-seam fastball that's going to go 100 miles to 101 miles an hour, a sinker that will go about 100 miles an hour, because what we'll see in a little bit here when we go over the quirks is he has outlier 2, which means his primary secondary pitch will go above what the card says. He has a curveball that goes 80 miles an hour. Great change of pace between the 4-seam fastball, sinker, and the curveball. As well as he throws a slider that's a very hard slider. It's going to go about 92. If you put it to max velocity, it's going to go about 95. So he has a very hard slider. And then he has a changeup that goes 86 miles an hour. I don't know what the movement really is on his changeup. It's his 5th pitch. Typically, when you're pitching with a pitcher, don't throw their 5th pitch that much. So being that this is a Prime card, typically I try to find the player's prime, knock it down to anywhere from 2 to 5 years, and go over the statistics for those years that I average out myself. However, Noah Syndergaard's really only played about 4.5 seasons in Major League Baseball. I don't really think the guy's prime is over unless he's another arm injury. So I'm going to go over his entire career, and then I'm going to go over particularly the singular season that this card's photograph is taking from, which is his age 23 season, which was his 2nd year in the league. So for his career, his win-loss record is 47-30. He has an ERA of 3.31, an ERA plus of 119, a WHIP of 1.161, and he has 775 strikeouts. So this dude definitely gets the job done when it comes to striking out people. He's pretty nasty. He's had 2 seasons where he's had over 200 strikeouts. In the age 23 season, which this card seems to be based off of, is the win-loss record is 14-9, has an ERA of 2.60, an ERA plus of 155, a WHIP of 1.149, and 218 strikeouts. For his career, he has a WAR of 15.7. For the age 23 season, he has a WAR of 5.0. He did go to the All-Star game, as I kind of mentioned in the introduction of this video, for the age 23 season. He's only had 1 All-Star appearance in his 5-year career so far. So that's a little bit about Noah Syndergaard's career. Let's get into the attributes of the card. He has 96 stamina, 86 hits per 9, 101 K per 9, 91 base on balls per 9, 80 home run per 9, 82 pitching clutch, 89 control, 99 velocity, 91 break. So with the attributes for this Noah Syndergaard, I actually think he got shafted a little bit, if I'm being honest. 86 hits per 9 is just way too low for a pitcher this late in the game. And looking at his whip, that 1.161 whip for his career, or if you're going to go with a slightly lower whip for this season at 1.149, I mean, there's some cars that are like 98, 9 overalls that have relative same whips for either the year the card was made or for their careers, and their hits per 9 are somewhere in the mid to high 90s or the low 100s. I think the 86 hits per 9, it doesn't do this Noah Syndergaard justice. I also think the 101 K per 9 could be somewhere in the mid 100s, because he did have over 200 strikeouts. He's averaging somewhere in the 180s to 190s strikeouts per season that he's played. Obviously, the 1 year he had an arm injury, so he didn't pitch that much, so he doesn't have, like, throughout his whole career, every year that he's pitched, a very good average. But the years that he has pitched full seasons, he's hitting that 200 strikeout mark or very, very close to it, which is an elite strikeout pitcher in Major League Baseball. I mean, 200 Ks a year is really like the mark that elite strikeout pitchers try to hit. The rest of the card, I think his attributes are a little bit higher than they should be compared to real life, such as the control and the base on balls per 9. Those could have probably dropped down a little bit. Now, the home runs per 9 at 80, I understand if you're playing head-to-head or online, they don't really matter. But to play the computer with 80 home runs per 9, you're asking for a disaster if you're playing on a higher difficulty. Overall, I'm not too impressed with the attributes of this card. Let's look at his quirks to see if it makes up for the attributes a little. So his quirks are workhorse, stingy, untouchable, control artist, grounded, cheesy, sinker baller, knee buckler, and outlier 2. So the outlier 2 will be important for that sinker because, as we all know, this sinker is one of the strongest pitches in the game. The knee buckler sinker baller will definitely help those pitches, such as his breaking balls, which is every pitch except for the changeup, and then the sinker baller for his sinker. So I think that the quirks that he does have can make this card a little bit more appealing, but the attributes are just not very good. It's also nice that he has control artists, just to mention that, since Noah Syndergaard typically has some accuracy issues when throwing the ball for his live series card. So looking at the attributes and factoring the quirks, I don't think this Noah Syndergaard is a pitcher that's going to be in very many people's starting rotations if you're not a new player. He's also going to be pricey for what you're getting. I think he's probably going to be somewhere in the 40Ks when it's all settled, just because there's a rarity of Mets cards, and because of that, I think there's going to be a lot of Mets fans that want to kind of have this card, or other guys that are just fans of players that play today and not having legends on their team. So I think this Syndergaard will be picked up due to some popularity, as well as the prime cards are still kind of hard to find for the Mike Trout collection still, so his price is going to stay a little bit elevated for a while. With that all factored in, I think this Noah Syndergaard is going to get 2.5 Chewies, because I just don't think the attributes are that good, although he does have a great pitch repertoire. He reminds me a lot of Roy Oswalt in the fact that his hits per 9 are so low that he's going to get absolutely mashed no matter how good of a pitcher you are. Anybody that can make contact with his pitches is going to hit him well, especially with the higher contact, higher home run guys that are in the game now. So I think this Syndergaard is going to be a card that's going to be very disappointing for a lot of people. We're going to stick with the 2.5 Chewies. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you guys agree or disagree with that rating. Guys, that's going to wrap up the Chewie review of the Set 42 Headliners featured card, the Prime Noah Syndergaard. Comment, like, and share this video. That way you can continue to grow the channel. You guys have a great day and be safe.